money, my motivator. My money maker. No, I don't see them haters. So let go get the paper.
Boom. So I know we went on a good run, but I think we can talk on it some. So it's like I said, we talked about how we spend our time and what you got to do and crafting that passion. But let's talk about
You
building
can't.
the team.
Yeah, you can't get there by yourself. There's no
Yeah,
way. Like you need to put people in positions to help you out. Like if you don't mind, I can lead us off in this segment.
yeah,
I had a conversation with my realtor today. He's the guy who originally helped us purchase this house. We're in now. So so he essentially he's very good about offering opportunity. What I mean by that is like he always thinks of us when because he knows what we're trying to do, knows what we're about. He's always in a position where he's trying to elevate us and push us forward because he's like ultimately if I want to do what I want to do, I need people that I can count on to do the things that I want to do with me.
gotcha.
That's that's essentially his whole mindset. So he talked about basically partnerships, and he's like essentially saying, I mean, you know what I do for the most part. I don't think a lot of people do. I think I talked about it a little bit in the first episode, but I do a lot of direct seller marketing for real estate. What that means is I'm looking for people who are interested in selling their homes. I essentially contact them, listen to what they have to say in regard to selling their home. They want to sell, then I listen to what stipulations they need to sell by. It's like basically I'm a problem solver. I figure out exactly what's going on in the home, what's going on with the home, why they want to sell, and then I help them get to the position they want to be in with selling their house. And so he's like, but as a as someone who buys real estate, only someone who doesn't have a real estate license, there are only so many options that I can provide to a homeowner. Like I can't list your house on the MLS. I can't put you on the market to for the for the highest and best offer. I can only offer you what makes sense for me to buy that. And granted, I can offer you 4 or 5 different options, but that's just one thing I can't do is list your house on the MLS because you have to have a license to do that. So what he's essentially offered me is any house that the person, obviously Charlotte is a very hot market. So what they want to do is most people here want to sell for the highest and best price. So the way to do that is for the most part is to put it on the multiple listing service, the MLS. So essentially he was saying any clients that I come across that want that highest and best offer, he can list it and then he can pay me a marketing fee. So essentially, obviously my goal is to buy and sell real estate and get paid through real estate.
Yeah,
So by sending clients to him on a typical transaction, if I just say, okay, here's my realtor's information, you can give him a call, he can put you on, you know, I don't really benefit from that transaction. I foster that relationship with him, but I don't financially benefit from that transaction. So
yeah,
what he's saying is essentially I can funnel properties to him and I can get paid as well. So he can benefit financially, I can benefit financially, and we can create that teamwork factor together as well. Because what he's looking for is to create a group of individuals like myself, like him, that want to grow in real estate and partner on projects in the future. So that's his whole goal. You know what I mean?
yeah. I got you. And yeah, like I said, it's fostering a team. Like my two mentors don't even live in the state of North Carolina. One lives in Texas, one lives in Las Vegas, and I had questions about how to grow my business and figure out some things, and they've been very instrumental, even though we're in the same competitive space. And some people ask how we can competitive when we're in 3 different states, but we all do the same things, and everybody's always looking to expand. And I'm kind of taking a market away if they ever try to expand this way. But the whole goal for them isn't to hold me down and not tell me knowledge. Now, granted, one of my mentors, he's a little bit vaguer because he wants me to figure it out myself because he feels like it'll stick better with me. But he was very upfront about that. He wasn't just leading me down a dark path. My other mentor, he's hands on and he'll tell me X, Y, and Z. And having the two mentors allow me to figure out how I want to move and how I want to navigate and taking my next steps. And like now that I'm not at my other job, I get texts and I've had some phone calls and people are telling me, hey, when you're ready to expand and add more sports and X, Y, and Z, I have people right now. When I'm big enough and I'm ready, I can put on payroll. And that's the idea of building a team. Like I have people that I know are confident and competent in their backgrounds that I don't have to force to come join my team. They did the work, they're ready, and they're just looking for a platform and a way to do it. And like I said, that ties back to how LeBron brought on people like his boy Rich and all that. Yeah, they came from Akron together and they came with their own ideas, but look at his homie. His homie now is a sports agent, owns a big part of the league now. He's taking care of like all kinds of clients. So it's not a matter of just bringing people along with you. It's bringing people that are either A, going to help you advance in what you're doing and play a role in it, or B, if you bring them to the table, they're going to bring them an item to eat off of too. It's not about just giving away everything you've earned, but finding people that you can split stuff with and grow and learn and encompass on how to get more.
I agree. I agree. Everybody you bring to the table needs to be just as motivated as you to get stuff done. I mean, granted, everybody works differently, but there should always be that sense of everybody's moving in this one direction at the same time all together. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it should always be a goal of progress. It should be I want to say a feast or famine type mentality. So like I
Right.
said, I don't need 35 people in my circle that want to do what I do. I need realistically 3 or 4 good people in a circle that just want to be better in life. They maybe they want to be a business owner, maybe they want to be a marketer, maybe they want to sell whatever, but they want to be in a different position than what they're in. Just because
Right.
we're in different lanes doesn't mean we can't work together and we can't feed off each other. Oftentimes, the person that's in a lane way over here that you didn't think would coincide with yours, you'll find a way to make them work together and connect. I mean, I run a
Right.
training business right now, but if I find somebody that makes clothing and shoes and all that, yeah, I have my own merch, but why can't I slap my logo on their merch and sell their merch at my facility or sell vice versa? Like we can partner together. There's other avenues to do stuff.
Right. Exactly. Like you can. It's right because it's obviously more than one way to build a team. Like you can obviously bring people in that are in different avenues than you. Like right now, I think we talked about it for like a couple minutes, and I think y'all deterred me from doing it. But um, you know, you have a brother that has his CDLs, right? He's a truck driver.
Yeah.
So you can make pretty good money by driving trucks if you own your own truck. So here's the thing: if I were to own the truck and he was to drive it, it would then be us splitting the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be it would be essentially a better system for him because he'd probably make more money. On top of that, I'd make money just owning the truck.
Oh yeah.
But
It's a it's
but
a it's a it's a hand and it's money in the hand for both of you. Like I said, you're
right,
taking the risk getting the truck. He's doing the work, but he gets a larger share of profits than he would get for just being a regular delivery driver.
exactly. Ultimately, we both benefit from the situation. Ultimately, we're obviously in different standpoints. Like my focus is real estate. That's what I've fallen in love with at this point. He he happens to be someone in a position that can help me with that businesses outside of real estate. And he obviously knows more about it than me, being that he's been in that field for I don't know how many years now.
Yeah.
And obviously watching Uncle Al, Uncle Lynn do their thing as well. Like
Yeah.
he
Family
knows,
lineage.
yeah, he knows far more about it than me. So it just seemed to me like it would be a good standpoint. But I don't know if you've um. So I've been talking to our Adni in fact a little lately.
Mhm.
um, she had the same. She essentially had the same conversation with your uncle. Um, so so basically, I think Uncle Lynn was in the same boat as right. You know,
Yeah.
renting his truck from, uh, or just using the company's truck as opposed to using his own truck and renting it out to them and making more money, right?
Yeah.
But I think like they kind of fell into the same boat to where um they just kind of never came to terms about what they were supposed to do, like, or they could never get on the same page about how things were going to go. You know what I mean? They just never really, got it down. You feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
But essentially they had the same conversation and it just, just never really went anywhere. Um, Either that or I think, and shoot, man, shout out to Auntie because we took her out for dinner this weekend for her birthday. Her and I tried.
Yeah.
And we just kind of started talking like about family lineage and whatnot. And I kind of conveyed to you what was going on, and she just explained a lot of family history to us. Just over dinner, in the car, we were just talking, but I know I got off subject, so we can get back to it. But basically, I mean, just you never really know who you can bring on the team and help you grow, because ultimately, everybody's goal is to grow and facilitate a better life for themselves, right? For their children, for everyone. Like, they're it's like I think my point from earlier was about following your passion, right? There's
Yeah.
more than one thing you can fall in love with. There's no one thing that'll happen and then you okay, I have to do this for the rest of my life forever, because that sounds crazy. That sounds boring to me.
It is.
I just feel like the more people you meet, the more people you get in touch with, the more things you realize are available to you, the more things you can find that passion for and do. You feel me?
Oh yeah. Like I said, it'll open up avenues you never even expected to do, or lanes you didn't expect to cross in. And like I said, I relate things back to my training business because that's what I'm passionate about and that's what I'm into and that's what I'm doing right now. But like I said, you brought me in on real estate, and real estate is something I do take serious, and I still drive past houses and I'm looking at houses daily now. And maybe that's a side passion to my passion, a side hustle to my hustle. But that's something that I'm interested in, something I never thought about doing before. But because me and you, we're very close, we're very tight, we share an interest in what we do. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're always involved in what each other does, but we share an interest. And because of that shared interest, you brought me into something, informed me on it. And now it's something that I know, hey, hands down, if I got any questions, hey, Q, I found a house, X, Y, and Z. I talked to this person. What do you think about it? What's another way I can go about it? I know I have somebody I can rely on, somebody I can come to. And that's just a whole nother lane, a whole nother avenue. And that's because we're not afraid to explore outside of our comfort zone.
Exactly. Because I mean, ultimately, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you have somebody in your corner that can facilitate you into that process. And I don't necessarily mean like somebody to guide you, but somebody that will teach you how to think in that process, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody that will get you used to being in that space and explaining to you what's possible in that space as long as you take a second to think about it.
Oh yeah. And that's the big thing. Like I said, when you build your team, I'd rather you not build your team with a lot of like-minded individuals. Like, our cousin trips consists of 5 different people. I think all 5 of us have a different mindset of what we want to do in life, but we all have a common goal of wanting to build wealth and just wanting to be able to look out for each other in the family in a whole. So yeah, we have 5 different ways of thinking, but we have one common goal.
Right. Mhm. Yeah, and that's probably the best thing about it, to be honest with you, because if you have 5 people in a room and you're having a conversation about the direction you all want to go, it benefits you to have those 4 other perspectives in the room with you to help you think. a situation through. Because think about it, if it takes you, let's say you're sitting down to do a Sudoku puzzle, right, and you got to find all the numbers, or let's make it real simple. Let's say you're trying to do a crossword puzzle, and
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out what words go where, what hint means what. If you have one person sitting there doing it, it might take you a good couple hours to finish that puzzle. But if you have five people sit down and diligently do it, it could get done in 15 to 20 minutes. Just
Oh yeah.
because the multiple mind streams working together, like it's unstoppable. Like
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many times I just call somebody up or I text somebody, hey, what do you think about this? What do you like? What is your vision? Or I asked Brenda, like, what is your thought process on, like, what do you think? Like, how do you see this? And a lot of the times Brenda has a different perspective than me, and that helps me think about it in a different way. Like it might be a side of things I just never saw. Like I said before, you don't know what you don't know. And so you end up not overthinking, but passing over those things because
Yeah.
you have no idea they exist.
I consistently do that. Like I love, like when I'm 100% dead set on something, and I feel like this is the way it has to be done. That's the times that I know it's time for me to ask somebody else their idea. And the reason I do it is because if I feel like I'm locked into this is the one way this thing can happen, then I'm overlooking something. Now, if I ask a consensus of people and I get the consensus answer and that's the original thought, then I'll move on with it. But
Right.
oftentimes you'll get a different perspective, and I'm like, oh, never thought of that. Oh, I didn't see it that way. And then it lets you reanalyze, reevaluate, and you can come with a better plan of action.
Right. So it's it's always dope to have, like I think, like we just really let me just reiterate the point real quick.
Yeah.
It's always dope to have that extra perspective or that extra. So like even in tasks that are like don't like that aren't rocket science, like, right, like if you're like remodeling a bathroom, or like if you're changing a tire in a car, there's multiple ways to do everything.
Oh, yeah.
So like a lot of the stuff that I've done in the house here, like I've done without the proper tools. Like I'm sure most people think you need a stud finder to find studs in the wall.
Yeah, that's the new school way of thinking. But how did you find
Yeah.
stuff before you had those?
Well, the basic way is that essentially you knock on the wall till you figure out, okay, this part's hollow, this part's not.
Yeah.
But an even better way that I've recently discovered is that houses are framed a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So it's either what's called 16 on center or 24 on center. What that means is when you frame a wall, the 2x4s in that wall have to be a certain width apart to meet building code. So so I can't remember what the year is, but today's 2x4s aren't true 2x4s. What that means is there's less wood, or the wood is less dense. It's not as hard as it used to be.
Yeah.
So a 2x4 today can hold less weight than a 2x4 from, say, 1965. You know what I mean?
Getting weaker like the days. This
Exactly.
generation.
Exactly. So the older a house is, the more likely it has the older 2x4s that are better wood. Therefore, they're spaced out 24 inches instead of 16 inches. So if a house was built like 2015, 2008, something like that, then most likely from the corner of that wall, you can measure 16 inches and you can find a stud on that spot.
Yeah.
If the house is a little bit older and it's not in the 16-inch spot, it's most likely in the 24-inch spot.
Gotcha.
Easy math.
Yeah. But you attained that knowledge from somewhere, and that was by having somebody, or maybe you did the research, but you attained that knowledge, and now that's a skill and a tool that you're able to use, and you can pass that on to whoever else. Like you just passed that on to all of our listeners. So anybody out there doing home improvement, look at the year that your house is made, and more than likely you can figure out which kind of stud setup you got going on in there.
Right. You can essentially tell how your walls are put together. So like that's another way to do that, to look at that, is like, okay, that's essentially how you figure out how much material you would need to build a wall. Right. So if I know the studs need to be 16 inches apart, and I know the size of the wall I'm framing is like, 24 foot by 24 foot. Then from that, I can calculate exactly how much wood I'm going to need to frame that wall.
Yeah. So look at that. We're not just about life, we're about education on all fronts.
And everything we do, bro. And
Oh,
everything
yeah.
we do.
All right, so I guess we can speak on this last point, which is where you invest your time. So I think the biggest thing I want to kind of tie this back into following your passion as how you invest your time. So if you know you want to, let's say photography, you want to be one of the best photographers there is. If you have a regular 40-hour week job and you have kids, you have this and that, but you never practice your craft of taking pictures and editing pictures and all that, tell me how can you want to be one of the best photographers there are? You have to find those moments within your day. I mean, I don't care if you're on your way to work, bring your camera with you, take a couple pictures of people walking down on the street, take a couple pictures of the stop signs at a stoplight or something like that. Just take pictures. And then at home, set aside 30, 40 minutes a night. Just go on your computer, start editing them, start playing with them, start doing different things. You got to learn a skill set. So if you want to be good at something and you always claim you don't have time because your job, your kids, your responsibilities, there's always time in a day. I'm be 100% honest. There's always time in a day. Like me personally, I don't need 8 hours of sleep to function. I can function on 5 to 6. To me, I just picked up 2 hours over your average person is getting 8.
Right.
So find out what you need. Like I literally say, track your sleep schedule for a week and find out honestly what you need to feel refreshed. I don't want you waking up to the point where you're cranky, you're irritable, you're gonna need to take 15 naps. Find out how much sleep you need and you can function off a day with. Then figure out how long it takes you to do everything else. So like I said, you go to work at 7. You say you go to work at 8. You go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, fine. Say you get off at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Fine. Say when it's all said and done, you get home and you're settled in, the kids are fed, and everything's happened, and it's 9 o'clock. Well, all right, how many hours of sleep do I need? Do that math. How much free time do I have between 9 o'clock and when I need to go to sleep? That's how much time you have to work on your craft. Turn off the
Exactly.
TV, turn off all of the nonsense, get off your phone, don't be on Facebook and all this other stuff. That's your time to work on your craft.
Exactly. Or or for some people, like the lady we were talking about earlier, the 911 responder
Oh yeah.
who was watching who was watching movies on her job while
I thought Florida. Florida always doing
yeah,
something crazy.
yeah, man, Florida undefeated, man. Florida undefeated.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we were talking about before we started recording, we were talking about this lady down in Florida. She was a 911 responder, and essentially when a call came in for a shooting, she was not
Watching
at
a
her.
movie on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. She was at work watching a movie on Netflix, did not hear the call, so police did not get to respond to the shooting incident because she didn't answer her phone, basically. So, I mean, if you have time like that at work, like clearly, there are definitely some jobs like that where you have a lot of downtime, where
Yes.
nothing's going on. You can definitely do other things while you're at work.
I think we
Um,
all had a job or two where you can multitask and finish something a little early and maybe work on a task. It's like when you're in school, you get a homework assignment in the class, but then there's an extra 10, 15 minutes in the class, there's nothing going on. You can either talk to your
right,
friends or you can knock out your homework.
right, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. Like, fortunately enough, like Brenda works from home, right? So, I mean, clearly there are some things you can do at home that you can put on autopilot that you don't really have to monitor. Like if you at home, you could take 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever. Put the dishes in the dishwasher. Turn the dishwasher on. Dishwasher washes the dishes. Or just putting clothes in the washing machine, setting it up, and letting it run. It takes 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Like I said,
like
like everybody's schedule is different, so I don't want to sit here and give somebody a timeline on what they need to do with their day. But there's a pocket. There's always going to be a pocket. I don't care whether you're doing or what you think you're doing. There is a pocket and a window of time when you are doing nothing. There always is, and there always will be. And we feel that time, especially in these days, with our phones.
Yeah, absolutely. For the most part, yeah. So recently here, I've been trying to limit that. I've been trying to like my whole goal was to like not completely eliminate my phone because my phone is a necessary tool for a lot of stuff that I do. But I mean, like, so instead of like looking at my phone during downtime, either I find a way to decrease that downtime or I find something to fill that downtime with. You know what I mean? Instead of just sitting on my phone and letting the time pass. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Like I try to limit my phone use to watching videos that are either on YouTube that are either about my business or whatever. Like right now, I'm looking about creating a website, so everything I'm looking at it's website related. I mean, you're looking at different tips and drills because, like I said, you never know everything, and when you think you do, there's something you're missing. So I spend my time right now, especially because I have a lot more free time. Everything is in the shell athletics. Everything is into my business. Everything is in how I can grow and how I can advance.
Exactly, exactly. Like you become like I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, if everybody had the focus of John Wick, like just imagine the things that would get done. Like just I don't. You've probably seen the movies by now. So like
Oh
John
yeah,
Wick
definitely.
1, 2, and 3. Like, do you know how much focus and fortitude it takes to kill as many people as he's killed in that movie?
Uh huh.
Like it's like, and he's not even like a crazy person. He's just like a man of like indomitable will and focus. Like he's
Yeah.
just like, all
They
right,
they
this
actually once they quote that in the movie that it's just will and determination that gets things done.
exactly. Like, absolutely, absolutely. It's like he's not any kind of superhero. He's not any kind. He doesn't have powers of any sort. He is a normal human being, and he just focuses on things with such tenacity. He just straight like it's like a rhino just runs it completely over.
Like I said, people, and when I say people, I mean all of us in general. We just have to learn how to prioritize. Like I said, I know, especially when I was working my job before, my kids are typically in bed by 9:30. My free window time was from about 9 to 11. That was my time that I can invest into whatever I wanted to do. Some days my guilty pleasure was I'm gonna go play Madden. And then some days it was what can I learn, what research can I put in. So like I said, find your pockets and find your lanes and take advantage of them. I'm not saying you got to devote all your time and all your spare time that you're doing to locking in on this, but I'm saying there's 7 days in a week. 5 to 6 of those days should be spending on your craft. You run away quick.
Yeah, I've been on mute for like like I've been on. I literally picked up where you left off in the moment, and
Yeah.
I've been on mute for like 10 seconds. But okay,
I know. I was thinking about. It, I was like, "Am I gonna have to call this guy? Did he disappear on me? What happened?"
no, no. I think you can unmute me. Anyway. So
Yeah.
like, if you're currently working like a regular job, like a regular W-2 job, and you're looking to get out of that, like it's you don't have to start like giving up half of your day. Like it's it's a little bit that you do every day to make consistent progress,
It adds up. It all
and
adds up.
it adds up. Eventually, you get to the point that you want to be at, where you can either slide away from that job or automate your business to the point where you don't really have to be in it every day and still keep your job and just have it as a second stream of income.
Oh yeah. Like I said, we get lost in the fact that we see millionaires posting videos of them relaxing and enjoying vacations. We see everyday working people. They typically, like you said, only post their vacations or they post their drama. But we're too busy watching everybody post. Sometimes you just got to find out what you want to do and go after. Like when I decided that I wanted to make my business, That was my goal. I figured out everything I could try to figure out about marketing. I figured out different lines. Like I spent hours of YouTube watching gyms, like just watching how people set up their gyms and set up their processes to start their gyms. And I don't even have a, like I said, a physical location yet. I train at a couple of parks that are local to the area, so I can be close to my different clientels. So I'm looking at things on levels that I haven't reached yet because I want everything to be refined to a process when I'm ready to make that move. If I'm taking the time and I'm educating myself now, when it's time for me to make a decision on that move, I'm prepared. I'm making an informed decision and it's not an emotional one.
Right. Exactly. 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 On the flip side of that, though, I would say that a lot of people end up stuck in that analysis phase where they're watching these videos, they're going through, they're fact finding, right? They're trying to figure out exactly what it is they need to do to get things done, but then they never actually do anything. For the most part, I would say that okay, there's obviously like in a certain order that things have to be done in. So my saying would be to like learn those first three steps and then go take that first one. And then once the first one's done, learn the fourth one while you're working on the second one. And just keep doing it until you get it done.
It's constantly evolving and constantly advancing. Like I said, when I decided to make my business, I made this is technically I will say my second business venture. The first one lasted a few months and it was a harder niche and market to work into. And ultimately, instead of giving it the time it deserved and the respect it deserved, I just kind of quit doing it. This time around is a lot different because I'm not backing out. I'm not backing down. I'm not running from it. I know this is difficult. I know this is hard, but I'm putting the time and effort into it. And like one of the biggest things I was always told is you don't need a logo. You don't need a logo. You don't need a logo. I needed a logo not because I wanted everybody else to see something, but because I wanted something I could attach myself to and stand behind. So I threw up the money and I bought me a logo. And ever since I've had that logo, my work has increased two times what I was doing before. What I thought I was doing versus what I'm doing now completely changed the game for me. So find out your motivations too. Sometimes you might need to do one or two steps to just rocket off your business and rocket off your mindset of what you need to do. Find your motivation and continue to chase it and continue to push it.
Exactly. I mean, it's it's probably all. That's how I've always felt. To be honest with you, like there's always going to be like that one thing I would do, and eventually I would feel empowered to do the rest of everything else. You know what I mean? Unfortunately for me, I just kind of haven't really found that real like catalyst to spark my my greatest ambitions. Right? I just kind of have to force myself to be pushed in this direction every single day. You know what I mean? Like to do something that would push me to where I need to be, whether that be talking to people or taking notes or learning about something new, just to focus on what it is I need to get done. You know what I'm saying? It's I think we said it before several times, man. Entrepreneurship is hard because it's like you literally have to choose what's happening. You literally have to choose between your future and what's going on right now in your face. Like you literally have to pick between something you cannot see or cannot feel or have not even realized yet before you, as opposed to something that's in your face right now. Like I could decide to watch a TV show. I could decide to watch a movie. I could decide to go out with my friends and party at the club, or I could do all those things that appeal to me right now in the moment. But literally, that is sacrificing what my tomorrow is going to be, or my next month, or my next year is going to look like. You know what I mean? It
Yes, sir.
just it immediately deters you.
So like I said, I just want to kind of sum up everything we've been over. So number one in my book would be find your passion and following your passion. Now, if your passion is just a passion project in itself, and you're not looking to quote unquote make money off of it or make it your full time job or a business or anything like that, I still would like for you to find it and pursue it. So, say you want to be an artist and you just want to paint pictures that you're going to hang in the wall or give away to friends, then do that. But at the same time, if you're looking to find a model to get out of corporate America and be your own boss and do things you love, I want you to find your passion and I want you to pursue it. I want you to remember that when you're pursuing your passion, you got to put yourself first. You can't save everybody and you can't bring everybody with you, especially in the beginning. So you got to work yourself. And when I say work yourself, I mean continue to evolve, continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue taking steps to advance and following your passion. And then once you get to that point where you're on steady ground and you're at a good level, build that team around you. Have that team around you, people that are going to help you grow, learn, and advance and continue to shape your future. And the last thing is, like I said, find wise ways to invest your time. There's 24 hours in the day. The richest man on earth and the poorest man on earth both still only have 24 hours in a day to get anything accomplished.
Exactly, I'd agree. And I would just add that, I mean, as I said previously, man, to be something you want to be as opposed to being what you are right now is literally that choice. Like discipline is simple. It's choosing between what you want right now and what you want the most. That's all it is. And you got to make that choice every day and you got to stick with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to go ahead and say safely that we've used a lot of your time, but I hope you gain a lot of value out of this. And until the next one drops, I want to say this is your boy Shell signing out.
This is Q. Y'all be good. Y'all be great.
And until next time, just remember, keep progressing, follow your passions, put yourself first, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish in this life.